What's happening? They say I'm live. What's going on, Mendez? What's going on, Will? What's happening? If y'all can hear me good, somebody put a one in the chat if you can hear me good. What's this right here? Filter pop. Oh, I can put filters on. Glow. Oh, let me get my glow. I can do filters. Bubbles. Oh, bubbles even. Suffering succotash. I can do, I can, party, 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 party. Oh, I can do filters. I can do filters. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, I just was hanging out with my sweetie. Me and my sweetie. Okay, I see a one in the chat. Oh, that's my sweetie. Put the one in the chat. Okay, so y'all can hear me. This is why I want to get on here, man. I hung out with my sweetie for a little bit. I'm about to go in here and Joanne's fabric to see if they got some green fabric to match this right here. Buenas tardes, Valdez. Buenos tardes. Hey, this is what I want to get on here. I was right yesterday. I was on a Zoom with the runners, and me and the homie Zay, we made, we made a comment, and neither one of us really like making the comment that trading is not hard because it sends the wrong message to people that's trying to learn this and get into this, that this is something that's easy, right? So, and somebody tweeted something the other day. They were commenting. I don't know what they was commenting on, but ICT shared their tweet, and the tweet said that the person had posted. They said, "I spent over a year learning, studying ICT concepts just to develop a strategy that takes me less than 5 minutes to see what I want, pick an entry, pick my targets, pick my stop, right?" So, and he's like, to sum it all up, trading is a easy skill that takes a long time to learn, right? And that summed up what I be trying to say when I say trading ain't hard, right? Trading is not hard. Trading is a very easy skill. Trading is very easy, right? If we were all computers, right? If we were all computers, we can easily be, you ain't got to run, baby. I'm getting out. I probably should turn my car off because y'all should have seen this lady shuffling in front of, when you walking and you walk in front of somebody's car and it's running and you try to hurry and get out the way. I probably should turn my truck off, but it's hot. It's 88 degrees. It's hot, so I got my AC on. But anyway, right? You trading is a very, if we were all computers, that's what I was saying. If we were all computers, right, we would all be millionaires because a computer has no emotion. A computer is going to follow the rules that its code sets. If the code says, if then do this, anything else do this, right? And that's all computers do, right? So when it comes to trading, right, we have to train ourselves to act like computers. Will we do it all the time? No, because we're human. So we're going to get emotional. We're going to revenge trade. We're going to get greedy. We're going to want to push it to the max every single trade, right? But we got to remember, trading is not hard, right? Trading itself is not hard. The hard part about it is controlling ourselves. That's the hard part, right? Controlling ourselves, that's the hard part, right? Learning how to trade is not even hard. It's very easy to learn how to trade, right? We make it hard because we want that one magic wand that's going to make us all millionaires. We want that one setup that we can use every single day for every single trade, for every single move. That does not exist. If don't nobody else tell you, I'm here to tell you there is no such thing as one setup that you can use every single day for every single move. That don't exist at all. If you have one setup, it is very unlikely that you will take a trade every single day. It is very unlikely that you would take a trade every time you sit down in front of the market if you only have one setup, right? But if you only have one setup, you have something that you can document well to know how effective it is. You have something. If this is what you want to do once you learn how to trade, once you learn how to trade, you want to get you a model that has a set of rules, right? Just like computer programs have a set of rules, and that computer is only going to do what those rules say. That computer ain't going to do nothing else but besides what those rules say, right? So you want to get a model with set rules, right? If price does this, if price does that, I'm going to do this, right? That it can be that simple. If price does this, if price does that, I'm going to do this and do that every single time without deviating, right? And speaking of time, because I trade ICT concepts, if you lock it into a time parameter, that gives you an additional piece of information that you can catalog to help you understand how effective it is, right? Because if you're changing stuff all the time, you can't pinpoint what, when, if you do ABC today, right, and it worked, and you do ABC tomorrow and it don't work, and then the next day you do HIJ. Hold up. You just abandoned ABC that quick. Now you're doing HIJ and you don't understand. You're like, man, why is it not work? Figure out everything about ABC. If ABC worked that first day, figure out what worked about ABC. And then the next day, you didn't change any parameters. So look at what's outside of your parameters that changed, right? You document in the information. I did ABC today and it worked. I did ABC today and tomorrow and it didn't work. So what outside of that ABC changed, right? You can analyze this data now because you're doing the same thing over and over, and you're not changing what you're doing. So if you're not changing what you're doing, you look around what you're doing and say, okay, what changed? Oh, I did ABC today at 9:45 and it worked. I did ABC today at 12 o'clock and it didn't work, right? The time changed. So then now let's go back and do ABC at 10 o'clock. Oh, it worked. Then you go do ABC at 12:30 and it didn't work. So now you got a little information. I'm not going to do A, B, and C at lunchtime. A, B, and C don't work at lunchtime. A, B, and C work in from 9 o'clock to 10:30. A, B, C work. But if you change your model, now you don't know if it's your model or another variable. So stick to your rules. Don't change your rules because it don't work one day. Stick to your rules. Don't get impatient and say, okay, I got three things that got to be met. I see two of them. I really want to get in a trade. I didn't take a trade for the last 2 days, but I see two of them. I'm gonna go. That ain't your model. If all the rules of your model aren't there, That ain't your model. I don't care if it look like your model. Just like my sister-in-law look like my wife, but that ain't my wife. You feel what I'm saying? My sister-in-law look like my wife, but that ain't my wife. It's not okay for me to go over there and kiss my sister-in-law. That ain't my wife. She look like my wife, but that ain't my wife. It's a lady that go to church with us. Her name Calandra. That ain't my Calandra. It's not okay for me to go over there and kiss her. Oh, but her name, I don't care if her name Calandra. That ain't my Calandra. So if every piece of your rule, of your model is not there, that ain't your trade. Don't take it. We make trading hard. Trading is not hard. Trading is very easy. Trading is a rule-based thing. It's a rule-based thing. The algo, if the algo sees this, the algo gonna do this. This, just over and over. This. Algo ain't changing. We the ones who changing, making it hard. Why we make it hard? Cause we see this person over here doing this. We see this person over here doing that. We want to dibble in that. We want to dabble in that. You know what I'm saying? ICT is all the rage in England right now. Everybody want to trade ICT concepts, and they don't even understand his concepts, right? They think you got to do everything in the world. They think you got to do every concept that he got. I mean, every model that he got. You ain't got to do every model that he got, right? Y'all already know how I feel about ICT concepts. Fazoli's, homeboy. Fazoli's. You hear me? Just had a date with my sweetie. Since you're coming in with your DR, IDR, right? Speaking of DR, IDR, right? I love DR and IDR. The Holman Robinson killing IDR and DR. I think Angela killing, a few people killing DR and IDR, right? I know my ADD ain't gonna let me dibble into that without learning it in and out. And that's gonna distract from what I already know. That's gonna slow me down. So I'm not gonna go over there and fool with DR and IDR when it comes to trading. You know what I'm saying? Even though I love it, even though I see it hitting and I see it working for people, I'm not gonna go. That's not in my rules. DR and IDR is not a part of my rules. So I'm not gonna go over there and start messing with it. You know what I'm saying? We make it hard. Trading is very easy. Does it take time to learn your model? Yes, it does. Does it take time to learn seasonality of the market? Yes, it does. Does it take time to learn, you know what I'm saying? Like anything, it takes time to learn anything, right? But the fact that it takes time to learn it don't make it hard. We make it hard. Trading is very, and when it comes to trading, right? When people see the amount of money that you can make in a very short amount of time, ooh, that old green-eyed devil come out. That green-eyed devil come out. Woo, that old green-eyed devil come out. Cause boy, that money go to looking good. And whoo-wee, you mean to tell me I just made $2,500 in 10 minutes? Boy, imagine if I sat here all day. Boy, I can be woo. There you go. Starting a vicious cycle. Start a vicious cycle. You know what I'm saying? Ready to quit your job. Ain't got no plan. Just made $2,500. You know how quick it is? Yeah, easy it is to spend $2,500. Man, $2,500 gone. You go to McDonald's and spend $2,500. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. Trading is not hard. Now, this is what I say. I choose to trade ICT concepts. That's what I choose to trade. Why? Because it's the most accurate thing that I've ever learned. It's the most accurate thing that I've ever seen. Do you have to trade ICT concepts to be successful as a trader? No, you don't. There's a big, vast world out there of traders who have never heard of ICT concepts, right? And they are profitable. They are successful. Why are they profitable and why are they successful if they don't trade ICT when Tim say ICT is the most accurate thing he's ever seen? Because they got a set of rules that they follow. They got a set of rules that they follow. And they control their risk to reward. If no matter what setup, no matter what strategy, no matter what you employ, as long as you lose less money than you make, you will be profitable. Let me say it again. As long as you lose less money than you make, you will be profitable. How profitable will you be? Depends on if you spiral and continue to lose, or if you can stick to your rules and only take trades when it follows your criteria. Because if you get a model and you vet that model, then you know that that model is a successful model. How do you know that? Because you follow the rules, you look at the data that you collected before you start trading that model live and say, this is a 70% model. So if I follow these rules to the T, I will win 70% of the time, right? So that right there is going to make you successful and it's going to make you profitable because a successful model is going to require you to lose less money per trade than you make per trade. So if your model is a 70% model, then if you follow that model to the T, you're going to be profitable. Right now, and then the way you raise your profitability is to expand the model to go for larger targets. Don't add on more risk, just expand it to go for larger targets, right? And when you go for larger targets, you're going to broaden your profitability because you're still risking this amount. So instead of risking this amount and going for that amount, now you're risking this amount and going for that amount, right? So you're increasing your profitability, right? You're not making it hard. You're just following your rules, right? So learn how to do it. Is it going to take time to learn how to do it? Yes, it is. Just because it takes time to learn how to do it, don't make it hard, right? If you really want to do it, learn it, right? If you give up because you feel like, oh, that's too hard, that's just you giving up. That don't make it hard. Because if it was hard, so many people wouldn't be doing it. It's a lot of lazy people in the world. And when stuff is extremely hard, a lot of people don't do it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't do it. There's like real talk. Even with the best models, you need to have your own rules to follow. DR is a great model, but I wasn't successful until I figured out. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, Robinson. I be giving Robinson a hard time, but them just jokes. That's my dude, right? I'm glad you said that. I can't speak on DR because I don't know that. ICT, right? Everybody know I trade ICT stuff, right? ICT has great concepts. His concepts are great, but I had to internalize in me, right? First of all, I'm the type of person where I need to know the ins and outs. I need to know the ins and outs. So me looking at all of those old videos before he dropped the core content, that wasn't helping me, right? It was confusing me. because it wasn't structured. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? It took me forever to kind of realize what an order block was because he never explained it in the old free content. It I understood what a fair value gap was because I learned what a gap was from somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I learned what a gap was from somebody else. So when he was talking about fair value gaps, I could kind of put that together. You know what I'm saying? But until he dropped his core content and I could go through the content and learn what all of this lingo was, right? It wasn't helping me. It was hindering me because I was trying to put together models without the proper education behind it, right? Once I learned all of his lingo, then I was able to internalize my own rules and what I need to see based off of my trading identity, my trading style, what I feel in front of the market. When I'm sitting in front of them charts, what attracts me, what catches my attention, what I need to see, now I can apply the concepts that I learned from Michael and build my own model out of his concepts. Now it's something that I learned, but I've made it personal for me. So now I can sit in front of the charts and not be tempted, right? I can sit in front of the charts and not be tempted to just try to jump in. Everybody gets tempted sometimes because when you sit in front of them charts enough, you start seeing what you want to see. But you got to know you. And now I can sit there and wait to see if the market do this, then it do this, then it do this. I'm going to do this, right? If the market don't do this, this, and this, I'm not doing this. That's when you can set up your own model, right? My own personal model, right? I need to see a liquidity run. I need to see a rejection off of that liquidity run. I need to see distribution below a low or above a high. Why do I need to see that? Matter of fact, I need to see a liquidity run. I need to see rejection off that liquidity run. Then I need to see distribution below a low or above a high so that it creates a breaker. And after creating that breaker, I need it to be a fair value gap in line with that breaker, right? And then I need to see price retrace back up to that fair value gap in breaker, right? Now, mind you, if I didn't understand all of ICT's concepts, I wouldn't even understand what a liquidity run was. If I didn't understand all his concepts, I wouldn't understand the difference between a mitigation block and a breaker. If I didn't understand all the concepts, I wouldn't understand what the rejection and the distribution was. If I didn't understand all the ICT concepts, I wouldn't understand retracing back to the fair value gap in the breaker, in the premium, or the discount. I wouldn't understand any of that if I didn't know all of the underlying lingo. Now, in my model, I can see my model set up at the wrong time. But if I don't understand all of the concepts and understand this is a potentially balanced price range, I wouldn't know that, hey, it's not coming back up here. It's going to stay down here, right? And then I can decide, am I going to let that go because I'm not willing to accept this risk if it wants to come back up here? Or am I going to take it? I can make those kind of decisions because I understand all of the concepts. And then I can say, okay, I'm going to take it here and take the risk up to there because this is a balanced price range. I don't expect it to go there. But if it come back up there and get me, I understand why. I can make an educated decision because I know all of the concepts, right? I know all of the concepts, so I can make an educated decision. And then if it go against me, I can say, okay, it went against me because of this, not because of my model, right? You got to Tim, are you a member of DR Academy? If you talk about Robinson thing, I'm subscribed to his page, but I don't know what DR Academy is. So no. Um, yeah, man, I've been running my mouth for 25 minutes, saying a whole bunch of nothing. But trading ain't hard. Trading ain't hard. We make it hard. Controlling our emotions is hard. That's the difficult part of it. I don't care if you are a candles pattern trader. Have your rules. Learn how to trade. Well, first of all, learn what you want to trade, right? If you want to be a futures trader, learn futures. If you want to be an options trader, learn options. If you just want to be I'm sorry about the middle finger. If you want to be just shares, swinging shares, learn about buying and selling shares. So learn about the instruments, asset class, whatever you want to call it. Learn about that first. Understand what you're getting involved in, right? Once you understand what you're getting involved in and what you want to trade, learn a model, right? Learn the concepts and then develop your model. Once you develop your model, backtest your model, right? Backtest your model to find out how successful your model would have been on previous data, right? Backtest your model to find out how successful your model would have been on previous data, right? Then, once you understand, I got a successful model now. This model will yield me success 70% of the time, 80% of the time. You can even get one that's successful 50% of the time if you want to, but I want something that's at least a C. So give me at least 70% of the time, 80% of the time. You know what I'm saying? Give me something up in that range. You know what I'm saying? Now that you got that model and you know it's successful 70% of the time, now sim trade it. Sim trade it for however long you need to be comfortable with, okay, it's still working, right? Sim trade your model. Don't deviate from your rules, right? And then once you're comfortable with, hey, this is still, it was successful 70% of the time back then, it's successful 70 plus percent of the time right now, I'm ready to put this to work with real money and stick to your rules, right? Don't worry about the shiny objects around you. Stick to your rules. You're going to be human, right? But reel that in really quick. When it pops up, reel it in. Don't spiral out of control. As long as you don't spiral out of control and lose your money, lose all your money, you're going to be okay because your system is a 70% system. Just trust the system. That's all you got to do. It's not hard. We make it hard, man. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Wiki, no, the initial concepts were enough for me to figure out my strategy. Not liking the cost of it either. Oh, that's actually something. DR Academy is an actual, it's an actual thing. Oh yeah, I'm definitely not part of nothing like that right there. If you know what I'm saying. I'm definitely not part of. I've seen some DR stuff that the dude, what his name is, the master was doing, and it's fine. It's fine. I was back testing it for a while, but I ain't got time to be trying to learn nothing new, man. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm happy with my setup. I was using the liquidity run reversal for a while, and then I just implemented. I modified it a little bit because I looked at my data. My data said when I took my entry, when it lined up with a breaker, I was my model was more successful when I did it with a breaker and then when it wasn't lining up with a breaker. Because initially I wasn't looking for the breaker. I was just looking for the SIBI or the BISI that made the breaking market structure and then, trading back into it. Now, there were times when that SIBI or BISI would create a mitigation block. And there was times when that SIBI or BISI would create a breaker. The times when it created a breaker were they were more successful than the times when it created a mitigation block. So now, instead of it being a SIBI or BISI that breaks the market, that makes the breaking market structure, I've modified it to where It don't have to be one continuous candle that comes from the high to the low. Long it's taken out a high and then came down and broke a low and left a gap in there, I'll take it because it's the breaker and the fair value gap together. Now the breaker and the mitigation block wasn't as successful. I mean the fair value gap and the mitigation block wasn't as successful as the breaker and the fair value gap. I was able to figure that out because when I went back and looked at my data, I saw that when my fair value gap lined up with a breaker, it was more successful. So now the breaker is another rule in it's something that I added. Now it has to be a breaker there for me to take that. Right? Sorry, my battery was dying. Yes, I see Q saying the high time frame breaker is gold on the 4 hour chart. And I see Mendez saying breakers is everything. Now, I'm glad y'all said that. If breakers is not a part of your trading strategy or your trading model, don't go out there tomorrow trying to learn breakers. Please don't go out there tomorrow trying to learn breakers. That's where we fall victim, where we hear our favorite trader or we see our homeboy or homegirl having success using something, then we go over there and feel like we got to learn that. You don't have to learn that. Stick with if you're at this point where you've been jumping on these lives with me for all this time, right? You're at the point where no matter what I say, no matter what I say I do, it should have no influence over you. It should have no influence over what you see. It's Spider Gang members when I be on live and I be talking and I be saying what I want to see the market do. I be sitting there waiting and people tap in and be like, I got my 5 points, I got my 10 points, and the market ain't even give me what I want yet. No matter what I say, it shouldn't have no influence over you. None. So please don't go out there and try to learn breakers. Here's the funny part. Have yet to ever see a breaker on my own, only via indicators, but it's not needed for what I do. Exactly. It's not needed for what you do. Forever grateful. I've been perfecting my order block model. Watch it. Hey, that's what's up, man. And I don't even trade order blocks, but dig this right here. I don't even trade order blocks, but dig this right here. Order blocks or order block, well, order block is it's gonna turn into a breaker or a mitigation block once we trade back past it. Right there where that order block is, that same area of price right there, it's gonna flip it. It's gonna turn into a breaker or a mitigation block once we trade back through it. That's the funny thing about all these. Once you know all of the concepts, you just like right now, right? I've always said, go back and check the tape. I said if price is above a PD array, you want it to act as support. If it's below a PD array, you want it to act as resistance. And then ICT came out and started saying inversion gaps. And then people was like, hey, what's this inversion gap? I'm like, man, I tune Michael out sometime when he started saying stuff that I don't need to put in my mental Rolodex. Because when he talk about inversion gaps, that's just another word for me to try to learn. And what he talking about is just, I was good when he called it support and resistance because I understand support and resistance. Don't be coming in here with no new word, inversion gaps. Man, shut up. Support and resistance. You know what I'm saying? That's what, man, I tune him out sometimes. I take in what I need to hear. Um, for grateful, yes. For great, yes. Have been looking for in ICT content. Been looking for what? What you been looking for, Q? That's the part that I know before. That's the part that I know before every breaker. There's an order block. Yep, that's facts, Tim. Trade your own setup. That's it, man. Trade your own setup. Hey, man. That's it. Order block turn to breakers. Um, I don't know if he specifically say that, but if you know if you know what creates an order block, and you know what creates a mitigation block, and know what creates a break, then you can see that um, once you get that distribution, just say you get that distribution up, right, off of this down closed candle here, you got a distribution up. Now that's a bullish order block, right? That's a bullish order block. You get a distribution up, you got a bullish order block, right? And then if that bullish order block takes price all the way up and takes out a high, right, and then we get distribution down past that order block, now that bullish order block is a bearish breaker, right? But if that bullish order block get distribution up and it doesn't take out a high, and then we get distribution down past that bullish order block, now that bullish order block is now a bearish mitigation block. But you see what I'm saying? When you understand the concepts, then you know, just like when you, just like when if you want to trade ICT's turtle soup concept, right? When you want to trade ICT's turtle soup concept, if you know, looking at price, how price is moving up, we've came up and we've attacked buy side, right? We've attacked buy side and got a heavy rejection off of it, right? Right? And then when we go up and we go up and we get up above that buy side again and we get heavy rejection off of it, right? And this on the look like on the higher time frame, we get heavy rejection off the buy side, right? You drop down to the lower time frame, and and when you spike up above that, right now you can say we rejected off of this because we hit a breaker, we hit a fair value gap, we hit something and rejected it from a higher time, like a daily time frame. Now on the lower time frame, if it spiked back up above that, you can be like, I'm taking this as a turtle soup because we already rejected off the higher time frame. Now we've run this buy side again on the lower time frame. Now I'm expecting expansion to the downside. I don't trade turtle soup, but that's a concept you can use for turtle soup setups. But when you understand all of the content, you can start to develop your own model, right? But they're gonna demonetize me if I come in here with this music playing. So I'm about to get off of here. I appreciate y'all. ICT said over his space on Twitter this morning, there's over 67 entries that he can use. That's crazy. I can't get out. But anyway, that's crazy. 67 entries. Hey man, I'm about to get out of here. I might have to mute this part of the video anyway because there's music playing. But hopefully this helped somebody, man. If it didn't, I'll try again next time, man. Until then, enjoy the rest of y'all weekend, man. Be safe out there. And yeah, I'm gone.